What's up, guys? WPUK here. So, today I want to talk about two basic needs you need to start a website. So, you might have this great business idea and stuff you want to do online. You want to open a website, a blog, or whatever it is. Basically, you need in two main things: a domain and a web hosting service to go with that. So basically, what's a domain? So a domain, it's like the name of your site. You know how most people have this www.youtube.com. YouTube.com is actually the domain. Google.com is the domain. So this is one of my sites. iFitness Camp, like it sells fitness stuff and all that. So like right here, the iFitness, there's a hyphen here. So the i-fitnesscamp.com, that is the domain. Forget about the explore stuff. The explore is just the name of the page I'm on right now. So that's basically the domain, yeah. So the other thing you'll be needing is a web hosting. So like, what's a web hosting? Basically that's what actually makes your site live on the internet. That's what puts it on the internet. That's what keeps it online. When people visit your domain, it actually opens up your website. So without a hosting service or hosting service plan attached to your domain, you actually come up with nothing. So I have this domain I just got. I think it's switch. No, sorry, fast switch. I think. Yep, there it is. So right now, there is no hosting attached to this domain right now. So if it loads up, I don't know why it's not loading. So if that loads up, okay, it's loading. It's gonna take me to like the service provider I got the domain from. Yeah, that's it, GoDaddy. So since there's no hosting service, that means I don't have a website live on the domain right now. So this is the domain name. So it's not on a hosting service, so it's not online. So it just takes me to the service providers that I actually got the domain from. So we'll close that. So basically, when you want to get a domain or hosting, I actually advise you get it from the same server, so that you can actually work hand in hand with your domain and your hosting. I mean, you can actually get a domain from a service provider and then get a hosting from another service provider and then link the two of them together. But when you're starting out, I highly suggest you get the two from the same service provider, so that it's kind of easy for you to like link them together and easy to manage and stuff like that. So web hosting. So this is basically what I want to talk about. I have like 3 top sites where I recommend you get your domain and your hosting from. So basically, when you want to do this thing, you actually just search for a hosting service. So whichever platform provides a hosting service is definitely has a domain sale aspect to it also. So right here, I just searched web hosting. So I took the liberty to search ahead of time because my network isn't too fast right now. So as you can see, there's a bunch, 1,000 of companies that actually do this stuff. We have Google Hosts, or Web for Africa. I'm currently in Africa right now, so that's why it's showing the African places. There's a Host Now, Hostinger, Jove Host. I think there's some both here. The bigger ones. There's Bluehost, Namecheap. Kind of, this is actually great. There's HostGator, also great. So depending on your country, you might have a bunch of other domain on hosting service providers come up on this search. It's great. Like I practically think you can't go wrong with any of these hosting services as long as they can just put your website online and that's it. But let's say for instance you're carrying out this project yourself and then you run into a little bit of trouble and then you need a professional to go into your hosting um, platform area and fix one or two things. So it will be difficult for someone who's not from your country to just go into your hosting area provided by someone from your specific country for your specific country and just start making tweaks. It's going to be very hard for someone to understand that. So that's why I decided to do this video today so that you can see like my three top rated worldwide service providers. So these three service providers, no matter where you are, whatever part of the world you are, it's like a universal, everyone knows it. So it's pretty easy for someone else to just dive in and fix with problems and dive out without having too much questions for you. So without any delay, I'm trying to make a long video here. Let's go right into it. My number three, GoDaddy. Yeah, you just saw me the domain that isn't hosted. I got it from GoDaddy. So practically, I love their domain search. When you're starting out, you come to GoDaddy. You just search for a domain you like. Might be your name of your company. So right now we have yep, I think wprookie.com and search. So it's gonna search and it's gonna tell me if it's available or not and the price. This is wait a while and boom. So it says wprookie.com is taken. Find an alternative names below and get help from one of our agents and stuff like that. So if you scroll down a little bit, you see the wprookie.com is available at 0.99, rookiewp.com 0.99 also, and the prices kind of vary depending on how highly ranked GoDaddy thinks the domain is. So if it's a catchy domain like this one, crookie.com, so like people are more likely to try out this domain to see what it's all about because it's catchy. So people are more likely to just randomly visit this domain. So it's 230.25, and basically that's how it is. So depending on how catchy the name is, the price will most likely be upgraded or slightly higher. So this is not what we're actually looking for. We're actually going for the hosting. So let's click on hosting. So they have different kinds of hosting: web hosting, WordPress hosting, and server hosting. This you don't have to bother yourself with because it's kind of not, how do I say, it's kind of high class for the massive companies and stuff like that. So this too is what we actually work with. So I'll do one WordPress hosting and one web hosting. So if you're 100% sure that the site you're actually working on or your site is actually going to be developed on WordPress, then you can go with the WordPress hosting. But just be 100% sure that it's WordPress, because we have different platforms that develop websites these days. We have Wix.com, Shopify. Although Shopify, you don't need a hosting. There's like 100 of them out there. So just make sure you know what you're doing. If it's WordPress, then you can use the WordPress hosting. So let's check out the WordPress hosting. So it has different plans, of course. So it has a basic plan as low as $2.99. So you get one website, you have 30 gigabyte storage, free business email for your first year, and you have a free domain. So with this, you can actually register a domain for free and then get in and just start up your website from there. That's 299, and then 399, one website, slightly higher storage, website backup protection with one click. This has it also. So this is basically, to me, worthless, because the only upgrade to the basic plan would be the SEO optimizer, and this I can actually get an alternative optimizer when I start my website from the plugin section. So I don't really need this. So I actually go with either the basic or the ultimate, because the ultimate gives you this free SSL certificate, and that's this stuff, this padlock sign over here. There are some plugins that offer free SSL certificate, and then you just install it, activate it, and then there's a padlock on your sign. But some websites actually filter through those free certificates and let your users know that this site is not actually 100% safe as compared to what you would think on your own website or your own browser, whichever browser you're using. So there's an e-commerce plan, but I don't think you need this. So you can either go with the basic or the ultimate. Like I said before, you have to be 100% sure that your site is going to be built on WordPress, else you might end up getting this, and then you want to build your site on Wix.com, and this doesn't allow it. So you just have to scrap the whole payment platform. You might have to scrap the whole um, the plan and just let it run out for nothing. And then we have the web hosting. This is the one I actually use. It doesn't matter if I'm actually building a WordPress site or not. I prefer this one, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So we have the economy plan right here, kind of similar to the WordPress hosting, kind of similar, $399. So it's just so it has one website, a whole lot of more storage for you, unlimited bandwidth. So this basically means it doesn't matter how high the traffic is, GoDaddy covers it. So free domain as well. So the economy plan, and then you have the deluxe plan. So on the WordPress hosting, I told you this was worthless, and this is preferred to this. The basic is preferred to the deluxe, but on this one, the deluxe is preferred to the economy, and that's basically because you have unlimited websites. So I could host like 1,000 website domains on this subscription plan. I could have 10 websites sharing this hosting, and it wouldn't be a problem at all. Unlimited storage, unlimited subdomains, so I could like create domains inside my domain. That's something I'll show you down the line, probably not in this video. And then best value, of course, ultimate, and this is because of the SSL certificate. Also, I told you what an SSL certificate is, so that's it. So on this plan, you can either go with the deluxe or the ultimate. Again, this is worthless to me, and the economy is also worthless to me. So deluxe or ultimate, but I usually go with the ultimate because of the SSL certificate. Although it doesn't matter if you're building a store or a basic blog, I just think viewers feel more safe when when there's an SSL certificate on your website. So now you might be wondering why GoDaddy is my number 3, because it's like the most popular hosting services out there today. And funny enough, that is the reason why it is number 3, because GoDaddy is so hot right now that everybody is practically on it, and that makes it kind of a little bit slow, and the customer service kind of takes longer for them to respond to you. So that's the only reason why it's my number 3, but it beats a lot of sites being my number 3, because like I showed you before, there are hundreds, thousands of sites that actually offer hosting plans. So number 3 is actually kind of good. It's quite good. So let's move to number two. Close that. And number two is Bluehost. Now this is actually recommended by WordPress. If you go to WordPress.org, I think that's their general website. It's actually recommended by WordPress to use Bluehost, and basically it's it's a little bit cheaper. And I like it's number two because customer service it's better than GoDaddy. Uh, let's just dive into it. Get started. Of course, domains, you can get domains from here also. Let's right click there. And they have WordPress hosting also, and then they have the normal hosting also, which is shared hosting. So let's open those. uh let's see. Powering over 2 million websites. WordPress made easy, 247 support, as you can see. They have a money back guarantee, so if you try it, you don't like it, you can actually get a refund as long as it's under 30 days. So practically you cannot go wrong with this. I've used it for a couple of sites. It's powering a lot of my sites right now, so like I say, you cannot go wrong with this. So the shared web hosting, of course, you have the basic 295, one website, 50 gigabyte space, unlimited bandwidth. They usually have this for the non-WordPress hosting service. And funny enough, you get a free SSL certificate from the very first plan. Like you remember when we checked the GoDaddy one, you actually got the SSL certificate from the second one, not the basic plan. Or right from the start, you actually get a free SSL certificate right here. So if it's just one website, you're not planning on having multiple websites, you can go with this. This is actually cool. Uh, then you have the plus, which is 545 per month. Unlimited websites, of course. If you're gonna have more than one website, you can go with this. Unlimited storage, unlimited boundary free SSL certificates, unlimited domains. Basically, you cannot go wrong. Okay, this is recommended. 545, same with this. So what is the difference? Oh, you have domain privacy and protection. That is really cool. Site backup. So they like backup your sites for you, this is quite great because some people build sites and they forget to back up their sites on intervals, and then when the site when you actually get something wrong customizing your site, you kind of like just break down your site all of a sudden. You have to start all over again because you have no backup. But with this, they actually back up your site, so if you make a mistake, you can actually revert to the previous version before you actually made that mistake. So this is pretty cool. This to me is worthless. I say worthless because basically we are actually rookies and we don't actually need this. So this is as high as you need to go. This is as high as you need to go to get a stunning website working pretty well. So let's check out the WordPress hosting. Starting at 295. Okay, so they have just three: the basic, the plus, and the choice. It's kind of the same with the other one, but like I say, WordPress hosting is if you are 100% sure that your site is going to be built on WordPress, and basically your domain has to be practically new and never been hosted on another server. There is no website on it, so that you can easily integrate into a WordPress hosting. Because if you practically have a site on your domain already, you're gonna be needing the normal hosting plan so that you can kind of link it through your cPanel, because WordPress hosting doesn't offer you cPanel. So you have to be pretty sure of what you're doing when picking your hosting services. And of course, the recommended unlimited websites, free SSL, unlimited storage, and the backup quite important. So let's check out the domain search. Cool, it's actually cool. So let's do search WP Wookie. It says .com. I can come here. I can choose .online, .site, a bunch of other stuff. So I'll just search, and WP key loading. Sorry, WP Rookie is unavailable, but WPRookie.org is actually available for $8.99. So this actually shows in dollars also. So WPRookie.net. So it's kind of the same as GoDaddy, although I like the GoDaddy interface more than this. But so that's it. So why is this my number two? So actually my number one and number two, there isn't much difference. Actually, I could practically just switch my number one and two, and it would still be the same. But my number one is SiteGround. SiteGround just edges out Bluehost for me just by a teeny bit. And that's because of the customer service. My god, customer service is actually tremendous, and the layout is actually pretty simple, so like a basic learner could actually navigate this without any problems. So right here we have web hosting, WordPress hosting also, and we have WooCommerce hosting. So if it's a store you're building, you can just get started right away, and it would install the necessary things you need to get your store up and running. But you might still have to make additional installations and all that, but it practically loads up your site with the basic things you're going to be needing to start a store right from scratch. So very, very, very user-friendly interface. You see, you actually know what it's for, and like I said before, the customer service sales chart is very, very, very friendly. So let's just do the web hosting and then the WordPress hosting. Yep. So actually you don't see the domain search on this right from the scratch, but when you are actually purchasing the hosting plan, it gives you an option to like buy the domain. That's where you actually put in the domain, because it actually has to load up a domain when you're signing up for the service. So that's where it gives you the option of buying a domain along with your hosting services, or importing an already bought domain into the hosting so it can be linked all together from scratch. So that's basically one step good for you, because you don't have to try to figure out how to link it together. If you already have a domain, you just type in a domain and it does the rest. It pulls it in and it links it up with SiteGround, and you're good to go. So web hosting, you have the startup package with $3.95. You get one website, 10 GB space. So you shouldn't be having over 10,000 visits monthly, else you're gonna be noticing a slight delay on your website. Free WP installation, that is WordPress installation, WordPress auto updates, and you get a free SSL certificate from scratch. Daily backup from the basic plan. This is amazing. So they just back up your site daily, without you even having to go in and say backup. It just backs it up, and they unlimited databases, so you can create different amounts of databases for research purposes and all that. So this is the bestseller, which is Grow Big, which is $5.95. Unlimited websites, 20 gigabyte space, 25,000 visit monthly. Same thing with this. So this has 100,000 visits monthly. I don't think you get 100,000 visits monthly except your YouTube or Google. So this works. This works perfectly. This is the one I used actually on. I just have one of this, and I have over 10 sites hosted on this. So this is the one I use. I'm actually moving most of my sites from GoDaddy to this. Uh, but like I said, with my three top sites, you can actually, my three top platforms, you can actually go, you cannot, sorry, you cannot go wrong with any of them. So let's see the WordPress hosting. So recommended by WooCommerce, WordPress.org, and Yoast, which is SEO. Same price. It just takes out the back end um, setup which you have to do. If you get any of these platforms, you have to go to the back end and install WordPress. While on this one, it just does WordPress, so you go straight into the WordPress dashboard and start building your site. But like I said, you have to be 100% sure that your site is gonna be built with WordPress, else there is no need getting a WordPress hosting. And nevertheless, I do not actually recommend a WordPress hosting when you're starting out, because there could be quite a few problems when you're trying to migrate an already existing site into your hosting. But if you're starting out with a fresh domain, you're just starting out, you want to get a domain and a hosting, get in, build your site, launch it, then you can work with this. But always, every time and always, I go with the normal hosting plan, because that just gives me more room, it's like tweak a few things. But starting out, you can go with this also. So that is my number one. So SiteGround number one, Bluehost number two, and GoDaddy number three. There are also other great ones here also that is quite known worldwide, and most people use it also, and it's easy to navigate. Namecheap, one of them, and I think there was one other one. So Namecheap and HostGator. These are also world-known hosting service. So if you actually have a Namecheap hosting or HostGator hosting, there's no need to try to go over to any of these three sites, three hosting services that I just mentioned, unless you want to, because these also, anyone can work with this. It's pretty straightforward also. So this is HostGator, and this should be Namecheap. But if you're starting out, this is way cheaper. But three websites is relatively new. That's why the prices are kind of low, and they're trying to get customers. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's quite okay. But if you're starting out, you're watching this video, I highly recommend SiteGround or Bluehost. You can't go wrong with any of those two. So that's basically it, guys. So I'm gonna leave a link to both of both the SiteGround and Bluehost and the description of this video. So if you're starting out, you just want to go straight into it, get your domain, get your hosting services, and start building the site like this. Just click on the links and it'll take you right to the websites, and you can just go from there. So that's basically it, guys. If this video was any help to you, like and subscribe, and also turn on the bell icon so when I post audio contents you can actually get a notification. I'm gonna be going through different ways to build sites and different plugins that helps in site development and all that. I might actually do a video on how I made this site also. So just subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.